It's the Underpowered Hour on this week's show. It's official, no more Jaguars. There's a Tomb Raider Defender for sale. It's very rainy at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. And we give some workshop updates. And now, here's the show. Welcome to the Underpowered Hour. I'm Steve Beres, mild-mannered television executive by day and Land Rover collector by night. You can find out more about our cars and what we're working on at theberescollection.com or follow us on Instagram at theberescollection. I'm joined, as always, by my good friend, Goss.
Thank you to everyone joining us today. I'm the bolt-on door hinge to Steven's hidden door hinge. I'm the exposed fastener of podcasting, Ike Goss. I own and operate Pangolin 4x4 in Springfield, Oregon, where we live and breathe Land Rovers. Check us out online on Facebook, Instagram at Pangolin 4x4. Let's get started.
All right, Ike. Well, in the news this week, our good friend, Adrian Martel, has made it official. It's like the most, official news that everybody already knows. No more new Jaguars. That's it. They're done. Jaguar Land Rover has stopped making Jaguars.
So the J in JLR is dormant. It's just LR.
It stands now for J.
Okay.
And it will, at least for the next 18 months or so, I don't know, until one new Jaguar comes out. I guess the only Jaguar that was actually selling and making money was the electric one. And that is going to be their
F-Pace.
The E-Pace. The
E-Pace.
F-Pace? E-Pace. I don't know. Whatever. The FE? The EFE. That's going to be their driving force going forward is the E model. So it's going to be based on an electric chassis, and it's going to be an electric Jag, which is all things I think we knew. But now it's official.
They're not producing any more new Jaguars in the sense that they're not going to make any existing models, like new copies of existing models.
That's right.
I see.
That's right. So if you want one, you can get the ones that are there now.
You better hurry. Demand for these is going to skyrocket. With this news.
That's right.
There's the supply is going down. Demand's going to stay. You better run down
one
there
of those
and get your
sedan ones or whatever, go get them. And I have to say, like the sporty ones, the R ones, they're not bad.
No.
And they're not like crazy expensive either. They're only like $80,000 or something, and they're pretty high performance car. Like to get a BMW or something in that same like performance level, they are more expensive, but I don't know. They're not exactly the like most inspired design or anything there. And they don't run the most recent like OS on the entertainment system or any of that stuff. It is really the car that was kind of forgotten about. They're all sort of like, it's really like they stopped making them a while ago and they just sort of keep producing them. Haven't really updated them in a while.
I'm curious to see the sales figures for this year for Jaguars.
I don't think they're great. Yeah, I don't know what they are, but not great. So that's it. That's it for Jag for a little while. So if you have a Jaguar, that'll be it. I mean, they're going to produce parts for them forever and things like that, just like they do all the other cars. But we're now in the holding pattern, waiting, and apparently we will hear more about the new car at some point, even potentially before the end of this year. We'll start to get some news about what that new car will be like.
I think they're going to start, teaser situation.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like a tease. I like to be teased. The tantric production of the new Jaguar. Sting is going to be very into it.
Oh, man. It's a deep cut.
He wants you to slowly...
That's a deep cut.
Tell
16 hours of Jaguar drawings.
Oh, man. Just really slow.
Speaking of Jaguars, I heard there was a reasonable turnout of Jaguars at the Goodwood Festival of Speed.
There was. And, it's interesting. I don't know if you saw this. Our good friend Julian posted to the internet, I think I saw it on Facebook, but a little sort of reprimand from, I don't know, the Duke of Goodwood, whatever his name is, like a reprimand of people like messing around with performance enhancements of their vintage race cars in a way that he's like, listen, you mess around with this shit and we're going to kick you out of Goodwood. Not only that, we're not going to invite you to the party. You're going to be asked to leave.
I can't imagine a festival celebrating something like, what is it called again? It's Festival
Festival Speed.
And making a race car is you want to make a car that does what? Goes fast?
Go really fast. But they're like, don't do it. Don't jerk around. We're looking for vintage speed here. Like, I don't know exactly what's happening, but apparently it's quite a problem. So much so that the Duke of Goodwood had to come out and make a video sort of reprimanding everybody that, like, if you're breaking the rules by, I guess, putting nitrous in your classic, Morgan or something, that's not okay. You can't do that. And you will not be invited to the party afterwards. You'd be asked to leave.
Yeah, well, it sounds like they need a new festival. They need a festival of slow.
They need the Goodwood Unlimited class.
The
unlimited class. But apparently it wasn't the upgrades that were the issue this year. It was the unrelenting rain.
Yeah, precipitation was a consistent issue, I think, this year. A lot of rain. The pictures I saw, the parking areas were just inundated with mud, which the Land Rover folks rather enjoyed towing people out of the mud, I think.
Sure, I bet.
That's a big deal at Goodwood. There's like a whole contingent of Land Rovers that are vintage Land Rovers that are used to tow and push the vintage race cars around the track. And so the Land Rovers are kind of, I won't say a star feature of the Festival of Speed exactly, but they're definitely, something that you see a lot of at Goodwood. So it's, neat to see Land Rovers in their element, I suppose. But yeah, the cars going around the track, just definitely a lot slower this year. And I think there was a lot of damp,
gentlemen, ladies,
racing coveralls.
In the racing coveralls. Speaking of racing coveralls, I don't know if you saw any photos of our good friend Nick Dimbleby in his vintage photo onesie, but man, fantastic. Really looked great.
Yeah, we're going to have those on the Underpowered Hour OnlyFans.
Yeah, on our Nick Pics section of the
little half-zipped coverall
little half-zipped coverall photos of your good friend Nick Dimbleby. Got to pay extra for that, though. That is not
that's premium content.
Public. That's
premium content.
That's right, exactly. Some lurid photos.
Well, speaking of premium content, Land Rover has received top marks for their keyless security system, their new keyless security system.
If there's one thing you associate with the modern Land Rover, it is all impenetrable keyless entry.
Apparently, that is now true. I think after many years of not responding to customer complaints of, my vehicle is gone.
It's gone.
No, you don't understand. It's gone.
No, it's not even here anymore. That's just not even here. Yeah.
So I think enough pressure was placed on them that they had to invest in keyless security, and we did. If you're an Underpowered Hour enthusiast, we did talk about their latest, I think, £15 million investment into keyless security, and part of that was also stepping up law enforcement.
That's right. They just hired more policemen.
They did. They at least that's what the article seemed to intimate, that they were, some of that money would actually go to policing. So, but their new keyless security system apparently is one of the best in the automotive realm.
And I've read that they've just rolled out a bunch of updates to Defenders that are also supposed to be security related. That they're really working on it. They're trying to get your Land Rover to stay where you put it when you leave it there. That's a goal they have for this year, is to have your Land Rover be where it is when you come back to it.
I think for a long time, the issue was that it was, your Land Rover was in a place where you left it because it wouldn't go anywhere else.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And then, they kind of worked on their reliability and they got the cars more reliable. And then they wouldn't stay where you left them because they weren't secure. So now, hopefully, they will not only stay, they will also go when you want them to.
They will also go, yeah. Well, and I think, series owners, the only reason it wouldn't be there is because the handbrake failed while you were in wherever you are. And then it would be easy to find because it would just be at the bottom of the hill or something.
That happened to a friend of mine. His Land Rover rolled away because the parking brake failed, and it was like it snagged on a shrub, and that's the only thing that kept it from going over a ravine and tumbling end over end 300 times. It was really incredible. somebody on a trail in Mendocino they were stuck, and he parked his 107 wagon, and we all turned around and it was gone. It was gone, and it wasn't because the keyless security was
No.
It was gone, and then we found it like 200 yards away, and it had snagged on this shrub, still running, and it was just like nearly the end of that vehicle.
Thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's always important to just stick a rock under the tire or two, or a rock under all four tires in both directions. Just a good measure. Then just in case.
Absolutely.
Just in case. Speaking of rocks under all four tires, our friends over at Bonhams, I know you're a fan of Bonhams, just because it's fun to say, are auctioning off or selling. I guess they do sell. They don't always auction. One of the very limited number of 2002 Tomb Raider edition Defender 90s.
This since this is aired, it has actually sold.
Oh, did it sell? What did it sell for?
30,623 pounds.
That's not bad. That's actually like kind of a deal, I think.
For a 90 special
What do you
edition.
think?
I
A
mean,
special edition one?
I don't know what the Tomb Raider market is like. I feel like that game has it's dated, right? Like that.
It is.
Not
It's very polygony.
Yeah, it's not a contemporary franchise, right?
No.
When's the last Tomb Raider movie that came out? I don't even know.
It's been a while. It was the one with, what's her name? Vikander? Is that her name?
Couldn't say.
Vikander.
And then the game, I don't know if they ever came out with a game recently either. So I think it's like fading a little bit from public consciousness. If I was gonna, I was gonna say, it says 2018 was the last Tomb Raider film. So
okay,
it's
a while.
It's
this car is from 2002. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, interesting. So it came out a relatively long while, 4 years after the last film.
The film this predates the last film. This car predates the last film.
Oh, the last film.
Yeah. Okay. So this was a celebration.
This was more of an Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, 2001 Tomb Raider film. But the car in the movie, is a high capacity pickup.
Yes,
and this is like a 90 station wagon. Yeah. So I mean, I feel like when people think of the vehicle from the movie, they're not picturing this car.
No,
so
not at all.
I feel like the car from the movie, the high capacity pickup, would bring a premium over this car
for sure.
Which is just
this car has though an outsized amount of checker plating in it.
Yeah, and the application of which it looks, in my opinion, haphazard like that.
It does. It looks like you're covering something up.
That piece above in front of the rear wheel just does not look like it should be there.
Doesn't look like it should be there. It also does it not entirely square up with the back? Like it looks like that line doesn't continue. You know what I mean? Like it's lower in the back than it is in the front.
You may be right.
I think so.
You may be right. It's just kind of a riveted applique. So in addition to the color, you've got the roof rack, you've got the lights, you've got
the lights,
the wheels, you've got some kind of front. Yeah.
You've got a roll cage.
Of the
you've got a full exterior roll cage,
and then a lot of diamond plate. So it's
of course the little like eye inside of a pyramid Tomb Raider, I assume, logo.
So it actually is a more substantial, package, a special edition package than perhaps some of the new Defender special editions.
It's true. Yeah, you've got a chrome shift knob,
billet aluminum.
I'm sorry. Yeah, shift knob. You've got checker plate floor mats, floorboards. That's something. It's all the things you would do to a car if it was badly rusted. If there was a lot of corrosion in the car,
you might put
these are the places you would rivet on checker plating to hide that in a sale. So they just do it for you. So it's ready to go right out of the, it's fine.
So what you're saying is don't buy.
Well, you wouldn't know.
Don't buy.
Maybe it's fine. Maybe
don't
it's
buy a used car from Steven. This is what he put.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yes, I apply checker plating to all of these places.
Really does have a lot. The rear floor, the front floor, all around the sides. There's a lot of diamond plate on this car.
More or less made out of checker plating.
This car has more diamond plating than the Diamond Edition.
It's true. It does. Yeah. I think it does because it's got these it's got in front of the wheels, the rear wheels. The Diamond Edition does not have. I also don't like that. I think in front of those rear wheels looks really stupid.
To be fair, the new Defender has diamond plate that is fake diamond.
It is not really diamond plate.
Like
it's just
another
plastic.
level
Yes.
of like.
It is simulated diamond plate.
Silly.
It is.
It covers up simulated rust.
And it is not, and you can get a rusted simulated diamond plate for the new Defender, which I think is really books on tape back on books again, which is really great. It's good. I like it, and I will be purchasing it for every new Defender owner I know for this Christmas season. So look forward to that. And finally in the news, our good friends at Tata Motors, owners of Jaguar Land Rover, have announced some Rover news of their own.
They're going to be using Land Rover design with a Tata platform. So
That's right.
They're going to be
every Tata vehicle is going to be getting a signature panel.
They're going to be releasing a Land Rover with a Tata platform. So it could be cool. Could be like a more basic model.
I would love that.
We don't have a lot of information at this time.
A Mahindra or Tuk-Tuk Land Rover.
Great. So we'll see what happens there, but they're planning to export them. So those vehicles, while I think that initially they'll be for the Indian market, they are ultimately planning to export them. So not the first time Land Rovers have been made in India. You know, we've been talking about doing the Range Rover, producing the Range Rover for the Indian market there. And then previous to that, they set up a CKD plant, I think in 2011, something like that.
Yeah.
So certainly not the first time that Land Rovers have been made in India, but the first time it's going to be on an Indian-made platform. So that'll be interesting. So now you're going to have Land Rovers on a Chery platform for China, Land Rovers on a Tata platform for India. What's next?
Oh, geez, I don't know.
What's
I don't know. Maybe a North Korean platform for North Korea?
What would that be?
I don't even know. I don't know. But it'd be great.
Kim Il-jung platform.
Gojong platform for North Korea.
Oh, we'll see what's next. There's bound to be another platform collaboration soon, you know.
I mean, like Tata makes that little Mahindra Jeepy guy, I can't help but hold out hope that they might make a little 80-inch. You know, it's not, I mean, they own 100% of that. They could make little 80 inches all day long and nobody's going to sue them. Nobody's going to say they can't make them.
It's not going to be a Roxor situation, right?
That's exactly right. It is 100% not. They can make those things all day long and nobody's going to tell them they can't. I'm just saying.
I think some cranky old British people would tell them that they can't do that.
I mean, that's fine. They can do that, but that doesn't
they don't have to
stop
listen,
them.
though. Yeah,
they don't have to listen. Yeah, unlike the fucking folks at Chrysler, they don't have to listen to cranky old British people. So, you know, I know Mr. Tata is a fan of the show, and so just saying, that's free advice.
He's a Patreon.
He is. He's a member of the Patreon.
Top level.
It's top level, for sure. All
top
$25 a month. If you're listening, that's free advice there. Go ahead and start making 80 inches again. You know, that'd be incredible. Could you imagine that with like a modern drivetrain? You know, just simple little engine, simple little transmission, you know, simple little axles. Man, so much fun. It's off-road use only, like kind of like a, you know, sort of a side-by-side sort of a situation.
You can register in Utah.
Yeah, of course you can. You can register anything you want in Utah.
Yeah, I saw a family of 5 on a 4-wheeler in Utah, just commuting.
Just headed to the Family
helmets.
Dollar.
No helmets.
No, of course not. No, you don't need that. Ugh. Well, speaking of no helmets, we're going to do a much more in-depth show, but you just got back from the big White Rim Trail in Utah.
True. Yeah.
How was that? We're going to do a little summer breakdown once Linus recovers from all of his injuries, which are, I think, mostly emotional and spiritual, but
emotional injuries. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Linus is a member of the T-Bums Model T Club. And there's a couple of members of the T-Bums that are, I would say, fairly hardcore, avid Model T off-road enthusiasts.
Right.
Because
of course that exists.
It does exist. So they take their Model Ts out and they do like harder trails in their Model Ts. And so right now they're on like a 3-week tour of kind of the Southwest, Western United States, and they're hitting some of these trails that they've been meaning to for a long time. And the White Rim Trail is on the list. So it's if you're not familiar, the White Rim Trail is a 100-mile trail.
Yes.
In Canyonlands National Park. So it is a moderate trail for a 4-wheel drive vehicle, but for a 100-year-old 2-wheel drive vehicle, I would say it is pretty extreme for that kind of car.
Yeah. With wooden spoke wheels and essentially like a piece of rubber hose wrapped around the outside of it, more or less.
Not only are the cars 100 years old, but the owners themselves are nearly that old as well.
100 years old as well.
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
So we came along to support them in our 4-wheel drive Land Rover, which we had been preparing for 2 weeks, which is not a long time for a vehicle that's been sitting for 50 years. So we had done an exactly 6-mile test drive of this vehicle before taking it down to Utah and doing this 100-mile trail with the Model Ts. Well, I won't tell you how it did, but I'll say it was impressive. Let's say that.
Wait, so you're saying that you picked up a Land Rover that is otherwise untested and took it on a long trip, and that's possible to do?
Yeah, that's
I've been told. I've been told that that's impossible, that can't be done.
It's possible, and we did it, and there's video evidence. So not only will we have a show about this verse of the White Rim Trail by a 100-year-old vehicle supported by a 70-year-old vehicle, we will also have a short video of the trip.
I can't wait. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's gonna be a great show. So as soon as Linus out of his coma, we'll get him, wheel him out and talk all about it, because I'm thrilled. The pictures are absolutely stellar. What a neat thing to do. I'm still just thrilled that there are people who take those Model T cars off road. I mean, driving them at any sort of in any conditions is kind of amazing. I had no idea how they were operated, and that, you don't drive them like a normal car. None of the pedals are in the right places and do the things that you think they do. And so just the act of driving them alone is interesting and extraordinarily challenging. But then to take that and elevate it to taking it in off-road conditions that they never even dreamed of using them in those conditions is really fantastic.
The risk that we got from other users of the trail, this trail's pretty limited. You have to get a permit for doing it, so there's not a huge amount of traffic on it. But we did see a few cars, and they were, "What are you doing with that stuff?" It was pretty incredible. They had no idea. These giant Jeep Rubicons on 37-inch tires with lockers front and rear, and they've got every manner of rooftop tent, bumper, all the gear. And then you just put along with 100-year-old Model T with 2-inch wide tires on it.
Wooden wheels.
Pretty impressive. And some of those climbs are loose, rocky, steep, high exposure climbs. And these little Model Ts have auxiliary transmissions, and they're just chop 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 chop, just putting up. It's pretty cool. It's pretty amazing. Yeah,
it is. That is really great. Well, I'm looking very forward to chatting with that. It's gonna be a great conversation. I can't wait.
Yeah, we'll have a good time with that one.
And in conclusion, this week, a little workshop update. So while you guys were off on the old White Rim, the White Rim Trail, we here down at the old Beres collection shop, we're working away on finally replacing the fuel injection pump in the Camel Trophy.
That thing has been leaking for as long as I've known you.
It's just about true. Yes, it has been sharing
better
about
part of a
half
decade.
Of its fuel,
better
half
part
of
of a
its
decade
fuel with the ground. And so went through and refreshed that pump, got the old one out, which was in pretty bad shape. It certainly needed a rebuild pretty bad.
Yeah.
So the old one came out and is going off for rebuild. The new one went in, which is it's not a difficult process at all, but making sure that the timing gets entirely locked out on the 200 TDI correctly is obviously paramount, because getting a diesel engine out of time is not good for it. You don't want to get it a little bit out of time and it will melt itself. So getting that all locked up, having the right tools to do that is obviously important, and not wanting to take the front timing cover off if you accidentally drop the timing pulley inside the timing case or something like that. So taking the time to do it properly, and while I was in there getting some other stuff sorted out, and giving the Camel some TLC as it doesn't get driven that much necessarily. So going through and giving it the once over, and
maybe now you will drive it more often.
Maybe I will.
We'll have to take it out and do a Camel adventure with that thing.
I think we will. I think we should definitely do some Camel adventuring with it. I'll tell you, it does drive considerably better when it isn't sharing half of its fuel with the ground.
Can't imagine.
You would. There you go. It's it's great. Driving perfectly now, and easily hits 100 kilometers an hour again with no trouble. That's great. Yeah, it's a great car. Considering it has 200,000 kilometers on it, as it was a French training vehicle. It has been circumnavigated Malaysia. It did the pre-scout in 1995. It's done all kinds of. It's done all kinds of things, and now it's in working retirement here, but it's doing great. Unfortunately, I did sort of bend my knee backwards as I was bleeding out of the fuel system.
I thought that was for your stork cosplay.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I totally storked my leg. And then in demonstrating what I did to Liza later in the day, I did it to myself again. I just pushed a little bit too hard.
Right or left?
My right knee. Yeah.
You don't
and
need
then
that one.
I just keep doing it to myself every time I move the wrong way. It hyperextends backwards, and it's like, oh God, I got to stop doing it. So I'm recovering from that Camel Trophy related injury. And it's
I'm going to send you a series of videos with people with their knees bent backwards now.
Yeah, it's just not great. But anyways, whatever. It is what it is. Well, got some exciting shows coming up. We've got, like we said, this White Rim Trail Summer Breakdown. That's going to be fun. We'll get Linus on, talk about that. We've got our good friend Brian from Eastwood to talk about everything he's doing over there. That Always Sunny Range Rover, all the great kit that they've got at Eastwood. So he's coming up here. We've got Will Hendrick, the defender of defenders, queued up to maybe do a Halloween show. We're talking about maybe doing nightmare stories.
I like
sort of
that
thing. We're kind of working through something like that around Halloween time. So we've got some good shows in the hopper coming up here. And we'll keep on keeping on. So until then, we'll see you next week.
All right, man. Looking forward to it. See you on the trail.
The Underpowered Hour is produced by Liza Beres, Ike Goss, and me, Steve Beres. Pavel Svardov composed and performed our theme music. Consider supporting the show on Patreon, and if you already do, thank you. Your support makes the show possible. For even more, check out our Instagram or Facebook.